I'm ready whenever you are, man.
All right, let's get going. What's up, everyone? Welcome to Backlog and Beyond, the podcast where we talk about the old video games we want to beat and the new ones we play instead. I'm your host, Jeff Zavatero.
And I'm your other host, Nathan Hawkins, and this is episode 20. And I am not going. I'm not going by the name you typed in the notes, Girthy Johnson. Not going to go by that name. So
I heard the disappointment in your voice when I didn't even acknowledge the one you put last week. So I thought I'd return the favor.
What was the one I gave you for your name?
I don't remember, Poop. But I changed it on my own notes.
And I'm your co-host, Poop Brain.
Yeah.
It was like something really immature.
Luckily, I had caught it before it was time.
I know, right? You would have probably read it, or you would have been like thrown off. Like, wait a minute.
Yeah. So ever since you put Jeff Z, I double read it now.
Fair enough.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Sorry, just had to get some Gatorade.
Gatorade.
Try not to drink soda.
Good for you.
All right. Well, as we always start off, let's start with what we're playing this week, Nathan. What did you play this week?
So I got to play some Ghost of Tsushima. I'm pretty sure I'm done with all of the Lady Masako missions. Or Masako, however you want to say it. But I'm enjoying that game still. It's great. It's just a nice, like, chill experience that I can kind of jump into and tackle as I go. I'm still kind of tackling the section of the map as I go, just hitting every single corner, trying to like just get every single achievement that I possibly can, because I just love the world. And then I actually have been streaming Resident Evil, which I'll be streaming Resident Evil 7 this entire month of October to celebrate the spooky season. And I'm pretty sure I've completed one of the boss fights. And which was extremely bloody and epic, by the way. Like, it was insane. And I'm playing on easy because I'm a chicken. So, but I'm having a blast with Resident Evil 7 so far. You guys can check me out, which on this channel, obviously, I stream live every Saturday, Sunday morning, 4:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time till about 7 a.m. Yeah, it's super early, but for you East Coasters and everybody else in the world in Europe,
it's still super early.
No. In Europe, it's
7:30 is still super. I mean, I'm already at work at that point, but I'm still not happy about it.
I know what you mean. But yeah, in Europe, it's like 1 p.m., so perfect for them.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, that's what I'm playing. What about you?
Great. I didn't have time to play anything this week. I had today off of work, which is nice because I'm back in my full swing. So I played a little bit of Crypt of the Necrodancer.
Okay.
And that's a rhythm-based fighting game. They actually made another one based on Zelda and Link.
Cool.
But it was insanely hard because you have to fight in the rhythm, and the
I have heard about this
attack
one.
in rhythm as well. And so I died quite a bit. And so I moved on, and I'm going to restart To the Moon.
Oh, cool.
But I just remember last time I really tried hard to explain what happened to my wife as I crawled into bed at 2 a.m. to explain why I was upset. Like, in a good way.
Right.
But I was like, if I play it again and I have to explain it to her again, I just want her to watch. So I'm trying.
Like just watch me, okay?
I know. Yeah. So I'm like, yeah, this is a game she could play too. So
totally.
I'm thinking of having her play, but I don't think she'll be motivated enough to do it.
Okay. Fair enough.
Yeah. So cool. Those are the besides the Give It an Hour, those are the only two games that I had time for. I played a total of an hour of those two games.
Wow. Fair enough. I just finished. I mean, obviously, I'm going to start playing. Wow, English. I'm going to start playing our Give It an Hour game right before the show. So, man.
Which is what you did just now, right?
Just now. I literally just, like, as you jumped in, I was shutting off the game. So, nice. Man, do I have a lot to say about it.
Yeah.
So, anyway.
Awesome. Great. Next, we're going to move on to our new segment of the week.
Woohoo.
There wasn't huge news this week, but some pretty big news. The first thing I have is Super Smash Bros. Ultimate will now include Minecraft Steve, Alex, Zombie, and Enderman. They're coming on October 14th, and they are part of the Fighter Pass 2.
Right.
I really liked the gameplay in the trailer that we got for this one.
Apparently, like, I forget what it was, but some site crashed when that video went live.
Dang.
Because so many people were trying to watch the gameplay trailer, and I watched it, and it looks fantastic. Like,
the ability to build like structures around your enemies is super dope.
Super cool.
I loved when like Mario saw him come from behind the door and he had the sword out and it turned to a piece of meat and he ate it.
And then the creeper comes up and blows up.
Yeah, and then the Enderman looking in Snake's box.
Yeah, dude. Like, I love that you can actually
trailer.
switch out the characters from Minecraft and play all of them. I think that's so cool.
Yeah. So, I'm super excited for that. I haven't played Super Smash Brothers in a long time. I think
Neither
I
have I.
rebought it so that we could play together, and we
Yeah,
never
I
did.
do have it. I just have to play it.
Yeah. So, make sure you have it downloaded. You have that nice new memory card now.
I do have it downloaded. I do.
Good. We should play that.
We should.
So that is my news for the week. Why don't you tell us about yours?
All right, cool. Well, the big news for me was Spider-Man Remastered is getting an overhaul with the face of Spider-Man. Right now, he looks a lot more like Tom Holland. It's crazy. I honestly think he looks better, but I guess the whole concept was to recast the face as it was an attempt to match the voice acting. Yuri Lowenthal, the voice actor. So they recast John Bubniak's face with Ben Jordan's face. Now, unfortunately, the creative director from Insomniac Games, Brian Intihar, he received death threats. Like, people were calling him out and wishing him dead. And then Brian went to Twitter and said, sorry, I am like flubbing words today. He said on Twitter,
Nathan's drunk.
No, I'm not.
I hold it together better drunk than you.
I'm drinking water, so I'm water drunk. To our Spidey fans, I totally appreciate your passion, but sending me threatening notes that you will hunt you down and we will find you fix this now, isn't cool. With what's happening in today's world, let's be a force for good and be respectful of each other. Thank you.
That's expecting a lot of
I know.
a certain branch of gamers.
But it's ridiculous. Like, honestly, I think it looks better. I don't know how you feel about it.
I think so too, and everyone's like, he looks so young.
So?
And this, yes, he's been Spider-Man for 8 years now, but Spider-Man became Spider-Man at 15, so he's only 23 years old, and the voice actor that they got is 26.
So,
or like the new body model.
Right, the new face model. Yeah.
Like, he's completely believable as a 23-year-old. Some
Totally.
people said that they were no longer going to buy the remastered version of his game, and guess what? Only about 5% of the time you playing as Spider-Man shows his face.
It's true, though. You're wearing a mask like 95% of the time. That's accurate. So, I don't know. I think it looks fine, to be fair. But whatever. So that's what happened. So, yeah, so that's where we're at, people. Death threats for a video game change in the visuals. That's where we're at.
Yeah.
So there you go. There's my news.
Yeah, so great. We're going to move on for our segment for the week. Before our main segment, we're going to talk about the free games for October 2020. We have games from PlayStation, Xbox, Nintendo, Epic Games, and Amazon Prime Gaming. If there's anyone that we're forgetting, please at me on social media. The first one, I wish I thought about how to pronounce this before I said it, but PlayStation games coming out on Tuesday, October 6th, which is today if you're listening, but not today if you're watching.
Right.
Is Vampire? I'm going to go Vampire.
I think it's Vampire, but they just spelled it
but
weird.
it's with a Y and no E at the end.
Right.
Anyway, this game is about the plot relates to how Jonathan Reed, a doctor who is turned into a vampire, is torn between the Hippocratic Oath and his newfound bloodthirsty nature. One of the really cool things about this game is most combat can be avoided, and you don't need to feast on human blood to beat the game.
Right.
So it's all about the choices, and I'm sure it gives you powers that are really hard to resist. Mm-hmm. I actually already owned this game because I really like the concept for it.
I saw that you
and
owned it.
I started it, but it's just so clunky.
I heard, isn't this the same company that did Life is Strange?
Oh, you might be right, but like something about like the attacks, it feels more like it kind of felt like the original Dead Space to me, like in a bad way, where you're just like like I don't know.
That
I was
sucks.
really upset about it.
That sucks. 'Cause I was looking forward to this game because it just looked so good. I like the choices you had to make between killing people and not killing people. I thought that was a really cool concept. So that kind of sucks.
Yeah.
So the combat's kind of crappy.
I didn't research. Hopefully, you can get multiple endings based on it. I believe you can.
Okay.
So that's really cool.
Cool.
Next thing we got Need for Speed Payback. It's a racing game set in an open world environment of Fortune Valley, a fictional version of Las Vegas. It focuses on action driving. You have 3 playable characters, and they work together to pull off movie action-like sequences.
Interesting.
The new thing about this one is it features a 24-hour night-day cycle, which is pretty cool.
That's cool. Okay.
Yeah. Why don't you tell us about the Xbox games?
Okay, so we had coming October 1st through the 31st, Slay Away Camp. Slayway Camp is a killer puzzle game where you control Skullface, a psycho slasher bent on slaughtering camp counselors at the title Campground. That sounds pretty cool. Made of Scare, I think it's Scare or Skur. October 16th through November 15th. Made of Scare is a first-person survival horror set in a remote hotel with a macabre history from Welsh folklore. Brave the nightmares of the quiet men. When they arrive, do not panic. Don't even breathe.
I'm glad you read that one because I think I'd read macabre and be like, macabre.
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 I saw the trailer for this, and this looks very clunky of a game. It looks rough. Like, it looks really boring, to be honest. But if it's going to be free, why not? You know? Like, why not? But I don't know. The trailer looks rough.
I know. If I had an Xbox, I'd give it a shot. Maybe if I get the Series S down the line. Right. Although, like, the more I'm sitting on it and looking at the specs, the more I'm like, if I'm going to do it, I'm going to get the X.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's really funny because a lot of people are kind of debating on getting the Series X for all their third-party games for the power and speed, and then getting the PlayStation 5 just for the exclusives.
Yep.
And I'm like, well, that actually makes sense, too.
But, like, I want to play majority of my games on the PlayStation now.
I know. I like the UI, the interface. I like the ecosystem of the PlayStation. I don't know. That's it. It's just I've been there for so long. I just don't want to change. That makes sense.
Don't let me forget. I have another piece of news that I came across on Reddit today.
Okay.
I'm going to share it at the end. That was kind of disturbing for people getting a PlayStation 5.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyway, continue on to Sphinx.
Okay, Sphinx and the Cursed Mummy on Xbox. So this is going to be from October 1st to the 15th. The player falls into the role of a demigod, Sphinx, and the undead corpse of Tutankhamun. See? Sphinx's role is one of the brave warriors who battles fearsome monsters and relies on a raw power to complete tasks. Tutankhamun, also known as the Mummy, revolves around puzzle solving and logical thinking to outwit his foes. Okay, sounds cool.
That one was for the original Xbox.
Right, original Xbox. Yeah. Then we got Costume Quest coming for the 360, October 16th to the 31st. In the game, the player controls a kid that is trick-or-treating with their twin on Halloween night when they encounter a monster that kidnaps their sibling. That sounds interesting.
I know that, like, of the 4 games, I'm like, oh, that had the worst looking cover, but I want to play that one the most.
No, yeah, my girls might appreciate that someday. So if you ever get kidnapped, find your sister, because it's a monster and you got to find her.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I might have to set up an Xbox Live account so I can play
I have my 360 still, but
sometimes I wish I still had mine, and like I want to play Red Dead in a smooth experience. I have my PlayStation 3, but I got that mostly for Pain and Ragdoll Kung Fu, but I don't have anyone to play.
That's the main reason why I kept my 360 was just for Red Dead Redemption.
Yeah, I know, right? But if we have an Xbox One S, then we have it backwards compatible.
Right, which is awesome.
So we wouldn't need it. Yeah.
And it would probably be upscaled a little bit, maybe.
It is, and it looks great. I tried it on it.
Cool.
So the next thing we have, Nintendo Switch Online, they usually release something for the Virtual Console, but so far they've only announced Super Mario Bros. 35, which was announced at the mini direct that we talked about. So that was the online competitive 2D platformer with Battle Royale elements, much in the style of Tetris 99. So if you defeat an enemy, it'll show up on another person's screen. Lots of frustration I heard from that game coming already. There was a post on Reddit where one guy's like, do I suck, or has this game already been hacked? I am too afraid to try it.
It looks insane. It just like I said before, it looks like it's anxiety ridden, and I'm good. I'll skip on that one.
Yeah. Yeah, so why don't you tell everyone about the Epic games that are next, because I got the short section.
Cool. Epic games, we got Piku Niku until October 8th at 8 a.m. That's weird. In this puzzle adventure, the player controls the titular red creature, Piku, through a colorful world to put an end to a plot to harvest the entirety of the land's resources. That sounds like that could be pretty.
Yeah.
Abzu, which I actually have, I think, on PlayStation already. I think it was free a while ago.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah, it was free on PlayStation a while back. October 8th to the 15th, following the journey of a diver exploring the ocean and restoring life using magical springs, the gameplay allows the player to freely navigate underwater environments ranging from open water and natural caverns to ancient ruins. I think I started to play this, and it just didn't really pique my interest. I think that's why I wanted to play Subnautica instead, which is more my thing, like open world, trying to survive underwater. There's that. And then Rising Storm 2, Vietnam, October 8th through the 15th, a tactical first-person shooter set during the Vietnam War, placing emphasis on an asymmetric gameplay. So that kind of sounds cool.
Yeah. So those were Epic Games. Last we have Amazon Prime Gaming. I didn't include all of the SNK games that they included for free this month.
There's so many.
I know, so I was like, I'll just do the regular ones. So first we had Layers of Fear. In this game, the player controls a psychologically disturbed painter who's trying to complete his magnum opus as he navigates a Victorian mansion, revealing secrets about his past. So it kind of seems like it might be like a walking simulator, kind of like Gone Home and Firewatch and things like that. Next, we had Silver Chains. It's a first-person horror game with a strong emphasis on story and exploration. Search for clues within an old abandoned manor to unravel the truth about the terrible events which have happened. Also feels like the same kind of genre. Next, we have Dead Age. Survive the zombie apocalypse with a Final Fantasy turn-based combat and permanent death. Manage survivors, craft materials, and make difficult decisions. Defend your camp against hordes of the undead to prevail in this non-linear roguelite. That actually sounds kind of up my alley.
Final Fantasy turn-based combat. Okay.
I know. I knew that would turn you off.
Permadeath, though.
I know. I was like, dang.
That's
so I wonder
cool.
if you could like pick up different people to be in your party.
Maybe.
And once they're gone, they're gone.
That's pretty cool. I like that idea. I'll have to check that one out, or at least take a look at it.
Yeah. Next, we have Jay and Silent Bob, Mall Brawl. You play in Jay and Silent Bob in a retro 8-bit side-scrolling brawler, solo, or with a friend. Pummel enemies with hard-hitting combos, dash attacks, and elbow drops, as well as a random assortment of weapons as you battle your way out of the mall and back to the quick stop.
Cool.
I honestly, I think the only Jay and Silent Bob official thing I watched, I think I did watch Mallrats.
Okay.
But I watched Dogma with you.
Right. We did watch Dogma.
Super weird.
It's a weird movie, but it's good. Yeah. It's fun.
Last thing we have is Surf World Series, an arcade surfing game that brings you to 5 of the world's most infamous surfing destinations, including Bells Beach in Australia, Waima Bay in Hawaii, Super Tubos in Portugal, Cacimba de Padre in Brazil, and Jeffreys Bay in South Africa.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
That's pretty neat. Yeah, so those are all of the free games that you come out that you can get this month. Out of all those, what do you think you're most excited to play?
I mean, I definitely want to give Vampire a try. Like, I know you said the combat was kind of rough, but I still want to give that a shot. And then honestly, like, Slayway Camp sounds like that could be pretty fun. Like, unfortunately, it's on like Xbox. I probably won't be able to play it, but that one actually looks pretty cool. So really, I think it's just going to come down to Vampire for me, because that looks it interests me. So I'm definitely going to give that a shot.
Yeah, I'll definitely play that. I want to play Costume Quest really bad, so I'm gonna make a note of that.
Cool.
And then I don't know, Dead Age, the Final Fantasy one, and then Surf World Series. I haven't seen a surfing game before.
Neither have I. That's actually interesting. That sounds intriguing. Like, I want to see what that actually looks like. I just want to watch the trailer now.
Yeah, and I kind of want one in the same vein as the game we're getting for next gen, where you could do a bunch of the bike and wheel sports.
Oh yes, yes.
In an MMO. But yeah, so we'll see. Those are the ones I'm interested in picking up. My computer can handle it, unlike yours.
I know. But yeah. My POS.
All right. So next we're going to talk about our main topic, the top Metacritic horror games of all time. There's not an official list. We painstakingly...
Jeff painstakingly.
We were going to do the worst, and I painstakingly went through the best by accident. So we're doing best this week because I am a double dip. My criteria for this is either the genre on Metacritic had to say horror, or it had to be explicitly stated in the description that it was a horror game.
I think that's a good way to go. I think that's.
I started Googling. I'm like, is Last of Us a horror game? And some people said yes, and some people said no. The only one I booted off the list was Gears of War.
Gears of War, yeah.
That one said it blends horror gameplay, and I don't think that counts as a horror game.
I agree.
We have a top 12 because a lot of these are connected, like sequels and prequels and remakes and things like that. So we wanted to have a nice variety. Cool. Should we start at number 12 or number 1?
I say we start from 12. Work our way up to number 1. Work our way to the best horror game of all time.
Yep.
So.
All right, great. So the first game was from the PlayStation 2 era, number 1218
Wow.
on the top Metacritic games of all time.
1,218.
Yep, was Onimusha. This was kind of like a hack and slash horror game for the PlayStation 2. I borrowed it from my downstairs neighbor Daryl.
Yes, I remember this game.
And I don't remember much about the story, but I remember being really impressed enough to pick up Onimusha 2, and it was trash.
I remember the cover.
Yeah, yeah, it's like a very iconic cover.
Yeah.
So you never played this one?
No, I didn't, but I do remember the cover. And I remember the name because I think like when I was a kid, I'd go to Blockbuster all the time, and I'd see this game all the time. So,
because no one rented it.
Nobody rented it. But somehow it made it the top 12. So
this
figure.
was such a last minute addition that I didn't even get a description for this game. I'm gonna Google it right now so I can give you some Onimusha Warlords. There you are.
There you go.
Known in Japan as Onimusha, is an action adventure video game and the first entry of the Onimusha series. That does not tell me anything.
Nope.
Screw this game.
Yeah,
all right. Moving on to number 11, we had Sunless Skies, which was for the PC, coming in at number 1,139.
Man.
This one is a direct sequel to 2015 Sunless Sea. It's set in the same Victorian era-inspired world as Fallen London and Sunless Sea, and the player assumes the role of the captain of an interplanetary locomotive. So it's very vague on the story, but it sounds like you can stop at multiple different storylines and adventures on this locomotive.
Interesting.
Yeah, so I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, I'm looking at the images and it looks pretty cool, actually.
Yeah.
It kind of looks like Inside at some points. Like, it's just like you're like moving this little tiny ship, and it's like these huge, like ominous looking, like dark worlds. Like, it looks like you're underwater almost.
Yeah, so it's kind of like... there was a Doctor Who episode where they did the Murder on the Orient Express, but they were in space. So that's what makes me.
That's awesome.
What makes me think of.
That's great.
I was like, "Whoa!" One of the remakes was in space. I'm like, "No, that was an episode of Doctor Who."
No. That's amazing.
Yeah, it was partially funded by Kickstarter, and it's influenced by the science of H.G. Wells and C.S. Lewis.
Cool.
The planetary romances of Lee Brackett, Art Nouveau, Event Horizons, and then it just says trains.
Trains.
All right. Why don't you tell us about number 10?
All right, number 10, we got Silent Hill for the PS1, coming in at 1,199th place overall. So the game follows Harry Mason as he searches for his missing adopted daughter in the the eponymous. I don't know that word. Eponymous, anonymous. I don't know. Fictional American town of Silent Hill.
I thought you cut out. I'm like, great. Our live shows are off to a terrible start.
Stumbling upon a cult conducting a ritual to revive a deity it worships, he discovers her true origin. And a fun fact about this one, 5 game endings are possible, depending on actions taken by the player, including one joke ending. I did not know about the joke ending, but I did love this game to death. This game also had an interesting, another fun fact, that the fog in the game was used to hide the game from loading, because they actually couldn't load much of the game at all because of how big the world was. So they would hide it using the fog, which I thought was a really cool way to trick the audience.
That is a cool way to get out of draw distance without ruining the experience.
Yep. But yeah, this is
otherwise you have
Hill.
too many load screens.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, and this is Silent Hill. I mean, this was guaranteed to be on the list at some point. Yeah. So it's at number 10.
I know. I picked it up on the PlayStation 1. It was used from GameStop, and the disc was so scratched.
Oh, jeez.
It wouldn't even get past like the first set of levels. So I've never actually played this game, but I did own it.
Oh, okay, all right.
I know.
if you can somehow find it like backwards compatible somewhere, you should play it. Just say you've played it.
Yeah, I'm sure. I think it's on PC somewhere, or at least it's very easy to emulate.
Nice.
PC now. PlayStation 1 now.
Cool.
Next thing connected is Silent Hills 2 for the PlayStation 2, coming in at number 677.
Wow.
It centers on James Sunderland, a widower who journeys to the town after receiving a letter from his dead wife informing him that she is waiting there for him. Fun fact about this, the corpse sitting in front of the distorted television set in the apartments near the beginning of the game is the same character model as James Sunderland. The clothes, body structure, and face are the same, but the camera is designed so the player can't see this. I guess there's several instances where this happens.
Interesting.
Like
I don't remember
his
this.
body, but they go past it quick enough where you really don't get a good look at it.
Oh, it's really cool. Yeah, dude, Silent Hill 2 was my jam. Like, this was, like, I think one of my favorites of all time. But yeah, it's a great game. I think if you're gonna skip Silent Hill, you have to at least play Silent Hill 2. I think this was the game changer. And I just realized now that Silent Hill 7 plot is the exact same plot as Silent Hill 2.
Oh, you mean Resident Evil 7?
Yeah, Resident Evil 7, yeah. 7 and 2 have the exact same plot.
I know, as soon as I read the dead wife thing, I'm like, oh, here it is.
Yeah, I mean, granted, she's not dead in Resident Evil 7. She's just been missing for 3 years. And then randomly she's like, oh, guess what? I'm here. I'm waiting for you. So that's interesting that they just kind of brought back that same plot. But yeah, Silent Hill 2, if you've not played it, play it. It's amazing.
Awesome.
So good.
Well, you enjoy the next game. Why don't you tell us about it?
Okay, cool. Number 8, Dead Space for the 360, coming in at 636th place. The player controls engineer Isaac Clarke as he navigates the spaceship and fights the necromorphs while struggling with growing psychosis. I guess when the game started making the rounds to be rated for the commercial market, reports were flying in along with some well-timed trailers showing the gruesome gameplay in action, that it has been banned in Japan, China, and Germany. I guess the gaming message boards news sites went wild. It was so violent that it had already been banned in 3 countries. Well, not exactly. The timely banned news was fabricated by the developers to build up the already monumental hype surrounding the game. What? That is insane.
Yeah. It's kind of a cheap tactic,
way.
But like,
so they faked that it was banned.
Mm-hmm. They faked spreading around that news. That
is so that literally is fake news. That's clever. That is amazing. This game was something else. This was new to me. It was like I had never played a space horror game ever, and the necromorphs were just so creepy, and the designs were so well done, and the sound design was just phenomenal. And just, I don't know, like, it felt raw, and just like the third person view, and like the fact that there was like barely any HUD, and your health was actually the bar on the back of your character. I loved it. It was just so innovative. Granted, yeah, going back to play it again, it's a little clunky. But man, it was ahead of its time, I think, and it's a good one. And I guess
interesting.
Oh, sorry.
No,
go ahead.
Oh, you go.
No, you go.
Okay. So on the PlayStation 3, it was 744, but on PC it was all the way down at 1392.
That is interesting.
I'm not sure why different formats got such different ratings. Like, obviously 636 to 744 is the difference of 0.1.
Oh, okay.
But it's considerably more for the PC, which is what I played it on.
Interesting.
I heard this really did a good job of saving console horror games as a genre, because I guess it was like Resident Evil was doing really well on PC,
right?
But nothing was really sticking on consoles, and this really helped consoles keep the horror genre.
That's interesting. Yeah, because I remember playing all of the horror games on PlayStation 2, PlayStation 1. But that's interesting. I didn't realize that. So that's great. That's a great fun fact. Yeah, good game. Good game.
Yeah. Great. So the next one that came up was number 7, Left 4 Dead for the Xbox 360, coming in at number 572.
Classic.
It was set during the aftermath of a worldwide zombie outbreak. The game puts its 4 protagonists, dubbed as survivors, against hordes of the infected. In the campaign, the passing, fun fact, in the Red Flight Bar Cafe, you can access a room with a pool table. On the walls, you'll notice references from famous games and zombie movies, such as Dead Rising, Dawn of the Dead, Shaun of the Dead, Plants vs. Zombies, and 28 Days Later.
Nice. Yeah, I remember playing, I want to say Left 4 Dead 2, maybe. I don't actually remember playing Left 4 Dead, the first one. Or maybe I did play Left 4 Dead, because on the 360. I must have. So, I don't know. But this was a fun game. Like, wasn't this one where you could actually play with, like, 4 players?
Yeah, I feel like I explicitly remember playing this one or number 2 on your bed. That
yes.
Makes it sound way worse. But we definitely played these games at your house.
Oh my god!
And I just remember being completely overwhelmed. But we
That is hilarious.
definitely played at least one of these games.
Oh my god. That's great.
Yeah, and also the PC version was the very next one, coming in at 573.
Nice.
Yeah, so they replicated that experience well, I guess. Go for number 6, Nathan.
Number 6, we got Left 4 Dead 2 on the 360, coming in at 567th place. Set during the aftermath of an apocalyptic pandemic, Left 4 Dead 2 focuses on 4 new survivors fighting against hordes of zombies, known as the Infected, who develop severe psychosis and act extremely aggressive. The DLC based on the horror movie The Cabin in the Woods was once in development. However, when the movie studio MGM filed for bankruptcy in 2010, the content was delayed and ultimately scrapped. Well, that sucks.
That's disappointing, because I really, at the time, enjoyed Cabin in the Woods.
I loved Cabin in the Woods. That was such a fun movie. It was so ridiculous and over the top. That would have been really fun DLC.
I know.
Oh, man.
And like, people have been hoping for another one for years, but Valve is really bad at making third games.
No, they're coming out with this other one called Back 4 Blood, but it's Back 4 Blood. And
I think that's a spiritual successor, right?
Yeah, it's not supposed to be Left 4 Dead 3. That's what they've said. But yeah, I think that's what's next on the list for them, not another Left 4 Dead game.
If you notice, the 2 descriptions for those games are exactly the same.
I was going to say, just pretty much the same. So that's I mean, it's basically the same game. It's just...
I know, it's like...
just updated. With,
just more zombies.
More of the same thing, and that's what people wanted, so that's what they got.
Yeah, it was successful.
Also, it was at 574th place for the PC. Yeah. So that's like basically the same thing.
Yeah, and like, even though it was just the same game with updated things, it scored better.
Yeah.
So, well done.
Well, it must have been the graphics or something. I don't know. Or maybe maybe the things they improved upon it from the last one is what made it better. Who knows?
Mm-hmm. Great. We're going to move on to number 5, Dead Space 2 for the 360, coming in at number 469. This game was set 3 years after the event of the first Dead Space, and the game follows, again, protagonist Isaac Clarke's fight against a new necromorph outbreak on the Sprawl, a space station surrounding a shard of Saturn's largest moon, Titan. Fun facts were really hard to find about this one because they were all about the first game.
Oh, that's awesome.
So now Isaac's helmet now folds down, is made over 40 separate pieces. Mm-hmm. And if you look really closely, you'll be able to see 2 small robotic arms pulling the helmet apart.
What? I don't remember that. That's cool.
Yeah. So in the first game, you only saw him without his helmet at the very beginning and the very end. But I guess in the second one, he removes it quite a bit more often.
Yeah, it's more frequent. He's a much bigger character in the second one. I don't remember that part.
He was like a silent figure in the first one.
Yeah, for the most part, like you'd hear him talk a little bit, but it was barely anything. And this one, it's more prominent. So,
yeah, awesome. Did you play the second one?
I think it's funny because I was trying to watch videos of it, and I vaguely remember playing this, but I don't. I think I'd have to play it again to actually remember if I played it or not. But I want to say I did. I want to say I remember it starting the very beginning. He's he's strapped to a chair, and he sees like somebody get killed in front of him, and there's a huge there's all this chaos going on in the station, and I'm pretty sure that's what it was, but I could be wrong. That may have been the first one, but I'm all drawn a blank now. So, but either way, I would play it again.
One of the fun facts I saw is even the devs agree that number 3 sucked. So,
that sucks.
We tried to play that together because it had a co-op campaign, right?
Yeah, we did try to play that. I forget.
Yeah, we played it once, and it didn't go well, so we didn't continue from there.
That sucks. All right. Fair enough. All right, cool. Well, moving on to number 4, we have Resident Evil for the GameCube, coming in at 295th place, which is a remake. Story takes place in 1998 near the fictional Midwestern town of Raccoon City, where a series of bizarre murders have taken place. The player takes on the role of either Chris Redfield or Jill Valentine, stars, agents sent in by the city to investigate the murders. Fun fact, that name was picked from a competition. Originally in Japan, the game was called Biohazard. That is interesting. But it was difficult to copyright as another game, and a band featured the same name. That's really crazy. They eventually ended up going with Biohazard for 7. That's really cool.
I feel like when I look them up on Steam, it's all Resident Evil / Biohazard. So,
gotcha.
It's really interesting.
Interesting. Another fun fact, Chris Kramer, Senior Director of Communications and Community at Capcom US, said, "I voted against the name. I thought it was super cheesy. Resident in a mansion. Get it?" Oh, God. Can't remember what I felt was a better alternative. Probably something stupid about zombies, but the rest of the marketing crew loved it and were ultimately able to convince Capcom Japan and Mikami-san that's the name that the name fit. That's interesting too. Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy. I didn't realize that they were like, that sounds stupid. And he's like, I hate this name. And they're like, no, it's good. Let's go. He's like, all right, fine.
Yeah, it's something I didn't even think about in terms of the name of the game, like Mansion being Resident. Like, I don't know.
I never thought of it that way.
Resident Evil meaning, I took it as meaning like the present evil at all times.
Yeah, something like that. I didn't realize. I didn't take it so literal.
Yeah. Yeah, so I didn't include the original in the list, but that one did place number 339 on the PlayStation 1 version. So it would have been number 5 on the list, but it didn't feel right to put the same game twice.
I agree. I think that's kind of weird.
Yeah. Number 3 on the list is the only other game not part of a series. It is Eternal Darkness, Sanity's Requiem on the GameCube, coming in at 193.
Wow.
In the game, players take on the role of several characters as they battle a powerful entity who seeks to enslave humanity. While the game features similar gameplay mechanics to that of Resident Evil, it distinguishes itself with unique features such as sanity effects. Fun fact about this game, originally it was planned for the Nintendo 64, but it was switched to the GameCube for development, and it ended up releasing June 24th, 2002.
Cool.
Yeah. I don't know anything about this game, and I wish I watched the trailer before.
Neither do I. I need to watch the trailer now. So, good for you, Eternal Darkness, Sanity's Requiem. Congrats. You got to number 3.
Nice shot.
Now I have to watch the trailer, though. That's number 3, like the third best
horror
game of
so
all time.
high on the list.
Like, what the hell? It's amazing how GameCube like has taken so many spots too. Like, that's impressive.
Yeah, I know, that was a good era for it.
Anyway, cool. Coming in at number 2, Resident Evil 2 on the Xbox One, at 170th place. Unlike the original, the game won't change depending on which scenario the player chooses first, which allows both scenarios to contain more unique elements and be crafted around each character. And there will be a final ending scene, which will only be available after completing both stories. Players control rookie police officer Leon S. Kennedy and college student Claire Redfield as they attempt to escape Raccoon City during a zombie outbreak.
I switched the fun fact in there.
Lovely, lovely. So this is not the remake, or this is the remake?
This is the Xbox One version.
Okay, so this is the remake.
This is the remake.
Okay, yeah, this remake is amazing because I played the original on on N64. That's where I played the original, and I loved it so much. So when the remake was coming out, I was like, I'm playing this, I'm streaming it, I'm doing everything that has to do with it, and they did such an amazing job with it. Like everything, it's insane how different it looked and how I felt like I was remembering everything all over again. It's almost as if that's how I remembered the game back when I played it on the N64. It was so cool. So
that's awesome. Did you play both endings?
No, I only played the Claire Redfield ending, so I didn't play through again because it is quite a long game. Like considering, I don't have a lot of time, so I was like, I'm good. Because apparently, once you play as both Leon and Claire, I think if you beat them in both the hardest modes, you can play as like a piece of tofu, which I think is really weird.
That's dumb.
I know, Resident Evil games, man, they get weird.
I know.
So anyway, but that's great. Number 2 for Resident Evil 2.
Yeah.
How fitting.
The PlayStation 4 version came in at 371. The PC version of the remake came in at 528. N64 at 586. PlayStation 1 649.
Those are all considerably high, though. Still, like
they're all in the top 1,000, which puts them in the top 10.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a good thing you didn't keep them in this list.
I know, right?
You'd have Resident Evil 2 of every version.
I know, right? It was getting pretty frustrating. That was like, it's a deserving series. I get it, but it's a bit jarring.
Yeah. So anyway, top 10 list.
You all may have noticed an omission of a Resident Evil game, which is Resident Evil 4 for the GameCube, coming in at number 29 on the top Metacritic games of all time. Players control U.S. government special agent Leon S. Kennedy, who is sent on a mission to rescue the U.S. president's daughter, Ashley Graham, who has been kidnapped by a cult. I guess I included a couple of fun facts because it was number 1.
Yeah, it may as well.
In the Japanese release of this game, any forms of decapitation were removed from the game. Oh. This means zombies or the parasite-infected villagers and cultists keep their heads on their shoulders no matter what.
BS.
I know, that's pretty frustrating. Like I would be so upset.
I can't wait for the remake then.
Yeah. I know. Like, so they just came out with 3, right? Am I crazy?
Yeah, just came out with 3. So
Okay,
I can
so 4's
guarantee
next.
4 will be coming. So I'm definitely gonna jump on that then. For the number 1 horror game of all time, you bet your booty, I'm gonna be jumping on the remake.
Did you ever play it?
No, never played Resident Evil before.
I'll go through my other fun fact and I'll talk
Cool.
about it. When fighting the Gyarados in the cabin, if you shoot Lewis enough, he will retaliate and kill Leon. You do like a
amazing.
defense-style mission with him, in which you fight back hordes of zombie in Call of Duty fashion as they break down the barricades. But you're supposed to fight alongside Lewis,
That's
and
hilarious.
if you shoot him enough, he'll lose his nerve and kill you. So I thought that was pretty fun.
That's great. I like that.
It also came out for the PlayStation 2, coming in at number 38, and the Wii at number 305.
Wow.
This is the first game I played for Nintendo Wii.
What? That's
And yeah,
crazy.
and I loved it. Like, I loved like the flick controls. I went to a friend's house and we turned off all the lights, and like I just played it. There was a lot of jump scares. There was a bad guy that had like a sack over his head and like a suit and a chainsaw, and that scared the crap out of me. I thoroughly enjoyed the game, and like any other game with Leon Kennedy from that point on interested me.
Nice.
But I really liked how they, like, the president's daughter's like a little kid.
Gotcha.
And it kind of builds that relationship in a kind of Last of Us sort of fashion. So
Okay.
that really drew me in.
I see. Yeah, I'm looking at the screenshots right now, and I actually want to say I maybe have played this on PS4. No, there's no way. There's no way I played this. Oh, it was on
we
PlayStation.
didn't have it out.
It was on PlayStation 2 as well.
Yes.
So maybe I did. Maybe I started to play it and I just didn't. I couldn't get into it. Maybe. I don't know. I'll have to go back and look and watch the gameplay video. But now that makes me super excited though when they do a remake of this then, because
I know.
I'm
Yeah,
definitely gonna jump on
this is one I will definitely pick up on day one.
That's super cool. Awesome.
Ooh, and it's gonna be for next gen probably.
Yes. That's right. It will be.
Yeah.
PS5 baby.
Great. So those were the top 12 main Metacritic horror games of all time, as chosen by me. Honorable mention was Resident Evil 7, which was all the way down at number 1300, which was surprising to me.
That is surprising.
Because it
It's
seems
really
like a lot of
good.
people like the game, but it doesn't have the nostalgia factor.
Right. I think that's what it comes down to. A lot of gamers, like, nostalgia plays so hard into a lot of people's like decision making. It's kind of sad, really, but it plays a huge factor, into that. So anyway.
Before we move on, I want
Yes.
to tell you about the thing I saw on Reddit today. Someone had a dev kit for a PlayStation 5, and they were playing games. And they put it in a used disc, and it said this disc has been used in another PlayStation, and we are therefore unable to play it on this system. If this is an error, please contact us. A lot of people are speculating that it's fake.
Okay.
But
All right.
it was like because it was a picture of a screen.
Nice.
But if that's true, that's devastating.
That
and that's
sucks.
Like, that would be suicide for the company. Like, that's
That
the whole
blows.
point of having the disc.
Yeah, exactly. What the hell?
Yep.
All right.
So that would be super painful.
Yes. Very much. Very much so.
I mean, yeah, I'm getting the disc edition, but I'm mostly doing it for the 4K Ultra Blu-ray player.
Okay.
But I like if I find a game that's like $2 or $3 at GameStop, I want to be able to pick it up.
Right. Yeah, there's almost a part of me that wants to hold off on the disc version, just so I can actually buy some physical copies, at cheaper. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how that goes. I may. What I might do is if there are games you don't want to play, I might just buy them, physically. And if you end up wanting to play them, I can always send them to you later or something.
Yeah, that's what we can do.
So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah. Great. So that was our main topic. We're going to move on to a game called Video Game Mad Lib.
You might have heard of it.
if this is your first time watching, then the way this game works is we take a description of a video game and we replace some of the words with Mad Lib style replacements, as you will.
Right.
And then we read them back to the other person, and they have to guess within 10 guesses what game we're describing. So, Nathan, would you like to go first?
Sure. I'm gonna need from you a plural noun.
Boys.
Boys. Okay. Hold on. That's gonna be funny.
Yikes.
Can I get an adjective?
Horrid.
Cool. Can I get a food?
Pizza.
Pizza. I thought you were gonna say that. Luckily, a lot of these I have to change the same.
Nice.
So this could be... Majority of these are already actually getting filled, which is nice.
Yeah, I have a couple of those.
Okay, a male celebrity.
Ashton Kutcher.
Okay, plural noun.
Bottles.
Oh, almost missed one. Okay, oops. And last but not least, oh no, I got that already. There we go.
Great.
So,
From you, I'm gonna need a location.
let's go to Silent Hill.
Oh, little theme going on there. Gotta fill that one in down here too.
Heck yeah.
All right. Can I get a geographic location?
Let's go with California.
Can I get a major event?
Let's go with 9/11.
Yikes.
Yikes.
Can I get a number?
10,000.
Can I get another major event?
Let's go with World War II. I can only think of bad events right now. I can't think of any good events.
Can I get a noun?
Let's go with shotgun.
And then cool name.
Let's go with John Wick.
Can I get the name of an organization?
Let's go with Umbrella Corporation.
Oh, nice. And then can I get another location?
Let's go with Raccoon City.
All right, this is kind of themed in your favor.
It's just going to be Resident Evil 2. I'm like, oh.
No, I'm like...
I literally replaced all the actual
these
things.
don't change.
Like, dang it.
All right, I'm good. So do you want to read yours out loud first, and I'll try to guess?
Sure. Okay.
Okay.
The series is primarily a story-based platformer presented in the third-person perspective. The player can explore a multitude of different boys in an open world environment, and can perform several horrid attacks. A substance called pizza can also be manipulated to enhance the player's abilities. Differently colored pizza has different effects. Red pizza enhances the damage dealt. Blue pizza makes Ashton Kutcher attract bottles and pizza, and lets him operate machines. Green food restores health. Green pizza restores health, and yellow pizza lets Ashton Kutcher shoot fire from his hands.
Huh. Can you read it to me one more time?
Yeah. The series is primarily a story-based platformer presented in the third-person perspective. The player can explore a multitude of different boys in an open-world environment and can perform several horrid attacks. A substance called pizza can also be manipulated to enhance the player's abilities. Differently colored pizza has different effects. Red pizza enhances the damage dealt. Blue pizza makes Ashton Kutcher attract bottles and pizza and lets him operate machines. Green pizza restores health, and yellow pizza lets Ashton Kutcher shoot fire from his hands.
Fire from his hands. Was fire something I came up with?
No.
Okay, good.
Yeah, shooting fire from his hands is an actual part of the game.
Oh, no. This is going to be a really bad one for me. Are you sure I played this game?
Yes, you have.
Oh, crap.
Definitely played this game.
Okay. I know this is wrong. I'm going to go Super Mario Brothers.
Nope.
All right. So, do we give clues on it? Or do we take... So, it's either...
I add back a word.
Yes. Okay. So, why don't you add back a word?
Okay. I'm going to add back in... Okay, ready? So, yes. Let's see here. So, the series is primarily a story-based platformer presented in the third-person perspective. The player can explore a multitude of different areas in an open-world environment and can perform several horrid attacks. So basically I replaced boys with areas.
That gives me nothing, and you know it.
I definitely know it.
All right. Third, fire. Fire.
Fire!
I feel like Fire should have given it away.
I know, I read this, I was like, this is not going to give it away.
Metroid Prime.
No. Okay.
Because I haven't played it.
So here we go. The player can explore a multitude of different areas in an open world environment and can perform several melee attacks.
I hate you so much. This is the vaguest thing I've ever heard.
The next one's gonna probably help you out.
Okay, just give me the next one.
Okay, the next word, instead of pizza, eco.
Oh, Jack and Daxter.
Yep.
All right, so I got 3 words. So I got 7 points.
7 points, right?
Okay. Yeah, eco is definitely what gave.
Yeah, that's a big one. If you'd have asked for the,
Fire.
if you'd have done the Ashton Kutcher, it was Jack.
Oh.
Couldn't give that one.
Right.
That'd be too obvious.
I know. Yeah. So I got to be. I'm not going to give mine out in order.
Okay.
When you can't guess it, but here
enough.
we go. Players take control of an inhabitant of Silent Hill, one of several California shelters created before the 9/11 attacks to protect around 10,000 humans from World War II, who is forced to venture out into Raccoon City to find their shotgun after it disappears from Silent Hill under mysterious circumstances. They find themselves seeking to complete their shotgun's work while fighting against the John Wick, the corrupt remnants of the former Umbrella Corporation that seeks to use it for their own purposes.
Fallout 3?
Yeah.
Yeah, buddy!
What gave it away? Inhabitants?
It was the Shelter.
Yeah.
Shelter was the
Dang
big
it,
one.
I should have changed that one.
Yeah, Shelter, and then
I forgot Fallout Shelter. That's too easy.
yeah, Shelter would. If you'd have changed Shelter, I think I would. It would have taken me just a minute. But yeah,
Created before the 9/11 attack.
yeah. That was a great Mad Lib, though. That was excellent.
I know.
Oh,
It
come
was so
on.
dark.
My favorite though was the player can explore a multitude of different boys in an open world environment and can perform
know.
several horrid attacks.
Big oof. Horrid
oof.
attacks.
Yeah, I should have said like horrid events or something.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, that's
Well,
bad.
we did it.
Cool.
So you got more points than me for probably
Finally,
the first time ever.
I'm typing
Did
down
you
these
go back
points
and
so I don't
see
forget.
what the actual score was?
No, I have not. But I'm
All
adding
right,
these
well,
from now on. I'll probably go at some point. I'll go back
We'll
and
get
see.
it later.
Cool.
Yeah. All right. Great. So we're gonna move on to our last segment. Give it an hour. We played. I just wrote down Ori. What was the full name of the game?
Ori and the Blind Forest.
Great. Ori and the Blind Forest. Tell me what you thought of the game.
Okay, so right from the get-go, I was amazed by the animation and the graphics. Just it was like a mixture of like cartoon and like a painting. I couldn't explain it. It was just probably one of the most beautiful games I've ever played, honestly. And I was playing on my TV instead of my actual handheld, so I was able to see all the details in the graphics, and it was just absolutely gorgeous. It was that and the combination of the score that just God, it was just so gorgeous. It was absolutely beautiful. The gameplay is super smooth. It's a little bit challenging, obviously, but once you start to play enough, you get the hang of it and the timing. It's a little twitchy, which is fun. But everything is just it's so rewarding. Just like the explosions and like taking out enemies and the graph. It's just everything about this game. It's just everything is just put together so beautifully. I didn't have a chance to actually type anything out, so this is just my, just me just spouting off the top of my head. But yeah,
I was kind of the same way. So
yeah, but I don't know. I loved all the little details, like the keystones, the map stone, like the map shards, like all those little things. It's so cool that this world is actually bigger than it seems, and there's going to be a little bit. And also, I love the strategy too involved for saving the game. Like I love that. Like that was super cool because like if you don't save properly, there were multiple times where I would die and be like, oh, I didn't save it like forever.
Yeah, I was so frustrated a couple times with that. I was like, how far back?
Yeah, how
and
far
then
back?
like the worst part is I would get down there again, pretty confident I could beat it this time.
Yeah.
And I still didn't save. And I was pushed so far back.
That's so funny.
In terms of the visuals, like I was impressed, but then they had the part where something called out to Ori and it looked up and the sky changed, and like that to me was like mind blowing. And I wish I was playing that part on TV.
Yes.
I was playing that on my on handheld, But like that blew my mind. I'm like,
Yes.
this game is beautiful.
It is a gorgeous game. Like everything, the sound design's amazing. Everything. And here's the thing: did you cry at the beginning?
No.
You didn't cry
No.
when she became orphaned.
No.
Oh,
I mean, it was touching and sad, but it wasn't like.
I have
Because like the way they did it. Are you gonna bring up the fact that you're a dad and it hits you harder because you're a dad?
maybe. I don't know, dude. There's footage of me crying on stream. If you were here an hour ago, I was like teary. I was like tearing up. I was tearing up. I was like, I feel like I'm watching Up all over again. It was so sad.
Okay.
So sad.
Fair.
It was just beautifully done. It was even like the character design is so cool. I love it. It's just everything about this game. Everything's just pulled together and tied so beautifully. I can't even fathom like how good of a game this is. Like if you have not played this game, you need to play this game as soon as possible.
Mm-hmm. And the sequel's coming out soon, right?
Sequel's already out. The sequel just got released on Switch. That's why I wanted to play this game, because it was on Xbox exclusive for so long, and it just got launched onto the Switch. So I was like, sweet, I'm going to give the Blind Forest a shot. So that was my reason for picking it. So, but yeah, cool. Obviously I'm going to be adding this to my backlog, hands down. Like, no question about it.
Yeah, normally I'm not a fan of like the skill tree style of things.
Right.
But it wasn't like super important things that you needed in the skill tree. You unlocked those in other ways.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you would like fall down and you wouldn't be able to get back up, and it was like, what am I supposed to do? I need to get back there.
Right.
And they're like, oh, you could wall climb, and I'm like, oh.
Yeah, no, that was really clever the way they did that too. Like you'd miss something, you'd be like, dang it, how am I supposed to get back? And then you would get a skill just at the right time to be like, yeah, I can go back now. Like it was really well done. Just like the timing of when they'd give you skills. And really cool. Yeah.
I really enjoyed the game. I will definitely be finishing it as well, but more at a leisurely pace. I'm in no rush to beat it, and no rush to get to the second one. I got time.
Yeah, no, totally. It's nice that it actually has it's like a nice story to it at least. Like the story seems intriguing, even though it seems simple. It seems intriguing. So it's kind of nice that I can just jump in and out of this one because it doesn't seem like it's too involved with the story. At least it's generic enough, but the world that they've built is clearly like they've put some detailed work into it, which is nice.
Yeah. So definitely going to be a play. Mm-hmm. And for next week, we're both going to be playing the same thing again on the PlayStation 4. We're going to be playing Control Ultimate Edition. Yeah, so this isn't exactly a horror game, but I heard it had some very creepy horror-like elements in this game, so I am super excited to pick it up. The Ultimate Edition was actually cheaper than the base game.
Oh, wow.
And I get a free upgrade to PlayStation 5 now. So
we get a free upgrade to PlayStation 5, my good man.
Yeah, we'll see if I decide to account and share with you.
Oh, man.
But yeah, we'll be playing those until next week, where we will be back, hopefully with this live stream and the podcast as you've grown to love it.
Yes, and just be aware that we are doing the stream live now. I don't think we actually announced it officially on the show, but we are currently live right now on Twitch, and we'll be doing this live, I think, probably now, and for the foreseeable future, we'll be doing this live on Twitch. It'll be on my Twitch channel, twitch.tv/AdventureHawkins. So we'll be doing this show every Sunday night at 9 p.m. We'll start off every show beforehand at 8 p.m. with my Give It an Hour. So I'll stream whatever game we're playing, or whatever game I'm recommended to play, from 8 to 9. 9 to 10 will be the show, and then after the show, we'll be doing a Q&A. So it's kind of like a little fun behind-the-scenes event that can happen. So please be sure to tune in next time on Twitch. That's where we'll be. And also, send us an email at contact@backlogendbeyond.com for your reviews of Control Ultimate Edition. And you can also, I'll be posting posts on Instagram as well as Twitter for the Give It an Hour game, where you can also leave your reviews there as well. And actually, since we've just finished the review from Ori, we actually had a couple of Ori reviews.
Oh, cool!
So I can read those real quick from our thing here, and they were all good, obviously. Let's see here. So first one was from Gamer Dad Bucky. He said, "Play this game for all the hours, and after that, play Will of the Wisps. Stop reading this and go." That was his. his comment. And the next comment was from Retro Styles 1983 on Instagram. This game is the best. I just got it for my PC. Super awesome storyline and soundtrack. Yeah, so that was another good one. I want to say there was one more on Twitter, maybe, or maybe it was on mine. I'm trying to remember where I saw the other one actually. But let me see. Let me check real quick. Sorry to do this on the fly, but I'm pretty sure we had another one. Maybe not. Did we? Oh, here we go. This one's from what's his name? Real M Fresh, at Real M Fresh on Twitter. He left a message saying, one of the best games of the generation, possibly one of the best platformers of all time. The platforming is precise, difficult but fair and accessible. The environment and level design is brilliant. The art style is wonderful. The story is beautiful, and the soundtrack is breathtaking. Yes, 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 and yes, Real M Fresh. I agree with you 100%. Like 100%.
Nathan just read their review as his own earlier.
Exactly. I literally just...
It's pretty much the same things you said.
Yeah, basically exactly what I said. So we agree 100%. So thank you, Real and Fresh, for tweeting us. But yeah, so again, you can do that as well. On the next Give It an Hour game, find our posts on Twitter as well as Instagram. We're at Instagram, we're Backlog and Beyond. On Twitter, we're Backlog Beyond. So that's where you can find those posts.
Yeah. I'm Zavadabadoo. You could reach me there on most social media.
And I'm Adventure Hawkins on all the social medias as well. And Twitch, obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so, I do have a dad joke this time.
Oh, crap.
I came prepared, okay? You ready?
All right.
I invested every cent I have in a cannabis-fed cattle business. The stakes have never been higher.
I'm not laughing at that one. Nope. Do we still count out if we're going to do a Q&A after this?
Heck yeah.
All right. 1, 2, 3, 4.
5, 6, 7, 8.